You're hot.
Good afternoon, November the 12th, 2025, 3:30 p.m. It's the financial management meeting. Call this meeting to order. In front of you, we have our agenda. If we could have the prayer. Bob, you're always good for us.
Lord, we come before you at this time asking for wisdom. We're always in search of wisdom from above because we know it is pure and right in your sight. Help us to look into the affairs and the welfare of this county and do the things that are right in your sight. Lord, we are always grateful for the sacrifice that was made for us that gives us the hope of eternal salvation. May we never forget that and hold it always before us. We ask this in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. We have an agenda as item B. I'd like to make a change and move the, under new business, we have purchasing issues with Hendersonville Library as item A. And I would like to, without opposition, move the Hendersonville Library A and B to a future meeting. They cannot make it due to the conflict with their library meeting at this time.
So remove.
I would just like to move it to old business.
Okay.
And we will not address it today.
I'll second that.
Second, any, we'll just take, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll just move that to the future. Does anyone have any other items they'd like to add to the agenda or change? This time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have an agenda. Recognition of the public. We have none. Approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have approved minutes. Report of the chairman. I would like to add, I'd like to speak on an item. I watched part of the video from last time, and there was a citizen that spoke, and they were concerned about the internal control that we have in the county as far as ensuring that we couldn't set up fake payments and such as that. And I would just like to speak on that item for anyone watching this video or for this committee. I'm very familiar with the comptroller's audits. They thoroughly review all our procedures for internal controls, and I don't have any concerns whatsoever regarding employees setting up fake employees or fake documents. I know that those internal controls are reviewed by the comptrollers every year with questionnaires, and if you'd like to speak to that, I'm sure they ask you questions all the time. So I feel certain that we are covered in that area. And that is to speak directly to that citizens' concerns that said that they don't ever get answers. So I wanted to speak to that. Another item that I wanted to speak to this committee, because I think this committee needs to consider what I'm going to talk about more than anything. Yesterday, I looked at an audit of one of our municipalities. We had given out ARPA money. One of our subcontractors for one of our ARPA pieces we gave to that city. And their audit report came back with significant deficiencies in internal controls. And I would like to ask our finance department just to go and take a closer look to make sure that that ARPA money that they have is being, that they're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's, because we as a county don't want to be getting a big bill later for that amount of money. Ms. Browning, could you tell us how much it is? Or
$521,000. And we have reached out to our consultant, our parametrics today, and they are planning on conducting audits of all of our ARPA programs no later than February. So that would be included.
Okay.
How many of those programs do we have?
There's several. Different projects, ARPA projects.
So they're gonna audit all of those?
That's my understanding, yes.
Interesting.
Yes, we are paying our paramedics a significant sum of money. And my understanding is in their contract is they're gonna make sure that we do all the right things, that we're not gonna have a big surprise on the back end and we're gonna have to pay the federal government. So they're on the line also with us, hand in hand.
So was the deficiency, or at least the proposed deficiency, was it that we've understated, or overstated grant amounts? Were they misused, or did we not?
No,
It's the parameters in which they're being used, that's what's.
Oh, okay, the
that's
use
what-
of the money,
yeah, the
okay.
use.
But it's not necessarily the ARPA funds.
Yeah.
There were many deficiencies on payroll and internal controls, their accounts receivable. It was various items. It wasn't
Just that.
just ARPA.
Okay.
there's significant issues in question. So I just wanted to bring it to this committee's attention, and I'm glad to hear that our paramedics is gonna do that for us. That's part of their contract. We pay them, and they're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. So, are we gonna have any money left? That's a budget question from our paramedics. I know we set aside a lot for them.
We did, but we did reduce that amount at one point, based on their estimate. I don't
Yeah.
know.
We can revisit.
Yeah. We
Thank
still
you.
have a ways to go.
And then, under my report also is the candidate search update. I have not been involved in that, and I missed the last meeting, so I'll leave that. I believe the mayor and Mr. Kerr have something to say on that item.
Yeah, I'll let the mayor talk about what's going on.
And that would be the end of my report. For the mayor.
Yes, ma'am, Mr. Chairman. I do want to update everybody on where we are with candidate search. I got the contract today from Sumner Consulting. It's gone through the review of legal, so we are ready to sign it. However, before I sign that, I want to talk to this committee because we have got a candidate that has emerged that brought me a resume that checks, in my opinion, is a quality candidate to at least pursue and then talk about if he will be a good fit for us. So what I propose, what I'd like to do is just take a 2-week pause, 2.5 week pause on executing the contract with Sumter, and then let's just vet this candidate. And when I say vet this candidate, what I'd like to do is a background search on him. And then I would like for him to have the opportunity to meet with the finance department, to meet with county commissioners, and to meet with constitutional officers and department heads, so that everybody gets an exposure to who this gentleman is and what he can bring to the table and the possibilities of him serving as our next finance director. I think it's important that we all have some input on this, and, you know, barring any discussion of 81 versus 2012, I want to try to make this process as transparent as possible and include as many opinions as possible. And then if we get to the end of this 2.5 weeks and we say, okay, well, we spent some more time with this gentleman and we don't think he's a fit, then by all means, let's move forward. But if we do think he's a good fit, then I would like to move forward as quickly as possible to get him in place. That would, and again, we go 2 routes with this. If we want to operate under the 81 Act, y'all have the final voice on that. If we want to operate under the 2012 Act, County Commission. I present the candidate, the County Commission has the voice on that. So I think what I'm trying to do through this process is morph it into one comprehensive project here to bring this guy forward. And I would encourage this with any candidate, even if we can move forward with Sumter. I would encourage that same process, that we involve more than just this committee, and we involve commissioners and department heads and constitutional officers. So,
Do you have a resume for this guy?
yeah, I sent one to you by email. But I do have a copy of one right here. Be happy to share with you. Does anybody else need a copy? Okay.
You have to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so, so that's, you know, I don't know if we need a motion per se or a vote. We can, it's not an agenda item. I think it can basically just be a consensus of the body that we continue down this path right now. And, you know, we're not saying no to Sumter, we're just putting a pause on it for just a couple weeks. And if that's the general consensus of this body, I think we move forward in that direction. And then I will talk to, Warren is expecting my phone call tomorrow, the president of Sumter Consulting. I met with him on Monday. It was an impromptu meeting. We didn't have it scheduled. He just showed up in my office. And I explained to him my thoughts, and what I was going to do today is bring this to this committee. And then I will call him tomorrow and let him know where we are. And that ends my report.
I've got a couple of questions for the law director. Have we issued an award letter for this, or do we know yet? It was a bid, right? Does that legally bind us to move forward if the contract has not been signed?
I've checked some other situations that have unfolded here. If we haven't executed a contract and we do not have a PO, which isn't the circumstance at this time, then we should be able to walk away from it, unless Beth knows, she knows some of this better than I do. So, and on the other part of this equation, you all did vote to approve, move forward, get the PO to basically go full steam ahead on this. So this will take some sort of motion to rein it in. So I do recommend that.
Well, I just for what it's worth, I agree that, I mean, I've looked at the resume and also understand the technical aspects of this job. Now, is he a perfect candidate? No, I don't think anybody's a perfect candidate. Would this person bring some strengths to the table that may be hard to find elsewhere? Being comptroller's office for 16 years, audited Sumner County, understands the ins and outs. That might be hard to duplicate. So, and I think the value of that contract with Sumter is around $30,000. Is that right? I mean, I personally think it would be a good idea to pause for a couple of weeks just to see. And we, like I said, Mayor said we hadn't done a background check. We don't know what we don't know, other than what we read and what we've learned so far. So I am in favor at least moving forward. I mean, this is not obligating us to hire anybody, right? It's just say we're gonna do a little bit more diligence on this one candidate. So I think it's an okay idea to do that.
Are you making a motion?
I'll make a motion that we do that. Yeah, move forward with the vetting process for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? I do have one item that, before I take a final vote, that I'd like to add to this, and it's just the logistics of this. We're looking down the throat of even slower government as we look into Thanksgiving and Christmas. So as far as the idea that this person could meet with people in the next 2 weeks, I think that's a little bit optimistic because we're looking at Thanksgiving. I think that we're looking at a little bit longer time. I'm not opposed to that. I'm just throwing that out there when we're looking at a holiday. And we all know how that falls into a big black hole.
So my goal.
Yeah.
So my goal is to set this meeting up for next Friday, not this Friday, but the next Friday, and send the invites out pending the review of this committee. Send invites out to everybody and encourage them to come here on Friday afternoon. And what I'd like to do, this is my thoughts, 3:30, have a meeting with the finance department. And then let the finance department meet, ask any questions they may have. And then at 4 o'clock, have a meeting down here in 112 and invite anybody that wants to come. Our county commissioners, I send county commissioners and our elected officials. Invite them at 4 o'clock to come in and meet with him and ask any questions they may have for him. And that will give us it, and in the interim, I will work on the background check. I can't imagine anything coming back, but I've been surprised before. But, you know, I would think with 16 years with the comptroller, he's probably got a pretty clean record.
So, Mayor, would you
We'll
be
go
able
through
to share the
motions.
results of that background check before that meeting?
Be happy to.
Okay.
Be happy to. Yeah, I'll share them as soon as I get them through legal. I'll do it through legal. That way I make sure that I dot all my i's and cross the t's and don't just start emailing everything out.
Buck.
I think
So-
it's a little too condensed. I would like to give the finance staff a different day, if that's at all possible, with the candidate, more time than 30 minutes. And then them have a day or so to reflect and then get back to us
I'll talk.
privately even. I mean, whatever they think at 3:30 to 4 o'clock, they're not gonna.
I'll talk to
Let's
our
just,
interim
if we could
director
work
about
out
that. I'll be
a
happy to
different-
talk to her about it.
Nothing so condensed.
Again, these were my thoughts and always subject to hearing other ideas, so I'll be more than happy to talk to Beth and maybe work out even a different day. So,
So, yeah, if we could work on.
Madam
work on
Chairman.
that. we have a motion on the floor, I understand.
I just have a comment if I could. Whatever you all vote on and decide with this date, I will need to know, because if it's gonna involve more than one person at this table, I'll have to notice it, so we can do the 112 like the mayor was suggesting. Just keep me in the loop. I may not need to be there, but I'll need to make sure it gets posted.
Any discussion on this piece? Okay, we have a motion on the floor. A second by Mr. Ellis. Any more discussion? All in favor? Of
Aye.
waiting 2 weeks, aye. Any opposed? That's fine. So we will put it on pause and we will revisit this issue at our next meeting.
thank you.
Are you finished with your report, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chairman, I hate,
Yes, sir.
this is what I get paid to do. You
Yes,
just
sir.
approved a pause for 2 weeks, so come 2 weeks and 1 day, that means by the last vote, we send out, get a PO and we send it out.
Thank you,
So
Mr.
you might
Lawyer.
want to loosen that up, how you phrase it.
I do appreciate your diligence. You are exactly right. Can we have a discussion on this item?
Was the motion for 2 weeks or was the motion?
I said 2 to 3 weeks is what I said.
But that's the problem.
Maybe we go
Lawyers
to
is-
3 weeks then.
We need to go until our next meeting. We need to.
So everybody
furnish-
voted for it,
So
right? So let's just have somebody make
Bob
a
was
motion to
silent.
withdraw.
Bob was silent. He didn't voice.
Yeah, just, if somebody can make a motion to revisit this and that was on the prevailing side, then we can go through this again.
Yes.
Motion to revisit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Kerr, to keep it simple. like you
So
tried
realistically,
this.
Mayor, and I appreciate what Madam Chairman said about the holidays, Thanksgiving's coming up. And again, I know we got budget staring at us pretty quickly down the road, and I'm sure you're handling what you're going to tell us, a lot of other priorities yourself. Is 3 weeks enough to do what needs to be done with this candidate? You think so?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we need to move on this quickly. I think we can get the candidate, we can get the background check, we can get the candidate in front of people within a 3-week period and make that decision if we want to run with this one or if we want to run with Sumter.
Can we, let me throw something out. I'm not making a motion, I'm asking a question. Can we maybe propose 2 dates? One to visit with finance and one to visit with anybody else.
I'll be happy to do that.
That way
I'll
you guys
get
are not
with-
caught up in that, you know, you have more quality, detailed discussions.
Yeah, I'll get with Beth on that and see a good day for finance when all of them are there, and do that as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So to just amend the motion is to pause for 3 weeks, allow the candidate, I'm sorry?
I believe the 3 weeks is the same exact thing. If we run into trouble and we don't make it 3 weeks.
Do
I
we
think-
need date certain, I guess is the question. Do we want to say, we're just going to pause?
If you don't make it date certain, then you will have to reconvene to say pull the trigger.
Yes, I think we reconvene in December, and nothing happens until
Okay,
we
then
get
we'll,
together, and then we'll know together.
I'll make a motion that
To
we
pause
pause,
till the next
pause with
meeting.
the search, allow the time to vet the candidate with finance and other commissioners and elected officers.
And
And
give the mayor
reconvene.
authority to coordinate the meetings.
Correct.
Okay.
Can I amend that and just ask to be involved in that also? I'd like to know what the scheduling is. I want to make sure, I mean, I know that.
Oh, I'll send the schedule out to everybody.
Yeah, but
I'll
if we
send
can
it.
talk, well, we can do that on, talk about it.
Does that seem workable for everybody? Okay. Did we cross the Ts and dot the Is?
I think
Okay.
so.
The dotted Ts.
Can we have a second?
Second.
All in favor in revisiting this at our next meeting as we look into this candidate further before starting with the recruiting firm? I'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Loderick. And
Well,
without, for pointing out that the, Mr. Mayor, do you have anything else under your report?
No, Madam Chair.
Without any opposition, if I could ask, Mr. Sheriff, did you need us? We don't want to keep you if you came, because you just wanted to come and visit with us. Thank you. Just want to let him.
Bring donuts next time.
Wife kick you out of the
I
house.
was just gonna take care of him if he needed something so he could get back to business. Report of the trustee, I saw that you handed us out.
Yes,
a report.
they're still sitting right there.
Oh, here they are, right here.
Oh, Mr. Loderick has some.
Yes, madam. Just two quick things. One, it just came out of budget, which I don't anticipate will have any problems in commission, but there will be an audit report coming you all's way every 6 months, and it'll be an internal audit of the opioid grants and funding. And just to give y'all a heads up, that's something that will appear on your agenda every
I
6
would like
months.
to address that.
Okay.
I was sitting there, I do not understand why they pointed it towards financial management. To bring the rest of the committee up, this is an audit of the opiate grantees funding. Instead of, there was discussion on pointing that to the audit committee, instead legislative thought that financial management should handle it. But I'm not sure if I wouldn't like to deflect from this committee, because to me it feels like it should go to the audit committee, because it is an audit of the opiate funding. And I mean, I can be completely wrong, y'all, I'm asking for discussion.
I don't have a problem with that, but this isn't an agenda item, so I don't know what to tell you about moving forward with it. I was just updating you on what has happened.
What would be our mechanics?
Well, and this is a resolution, it's gonna go to the floor, so that would be the time to make an amendment on the,
Well, golly, I guess we'll just look at the audit of the opiate.
or, I mean, they may,
Or you
people
can
may
move it
agree
from the
with you.
floor in the commission.
Should go move it?
Yep.
So with the responsibilities of this committee, does this committee, I'd like to ask, do you feel that that's an item that belongs under our responsibilities, or with audit,
Feel like audit to me.
Say audit, myself.
okay, I'll bring it up at full commission.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then the other thing was I just want to reiterate this because of the second lawsuit, but any conversations other than one of you at this table with any prospective candidates cannot happen unless I'm in the loop so that I can do a proper notice. so be very careful of that.
You said more than one of us talking
Yes.
to him? Okay.
And that's all I have, madam.
Thank you, sir. Report of the trustee. She said her report.
Yeah, but stop that. There.
Oh,
You were talking. You're fine.
I have a comment just on the trustees. We've spoken about this issue back and forth for maybe 6 months, maybe a year. The need for the county to have an investment committee. And we never got it off the ground, if everybody would remember. I think it was circling back around that if there was to be an investment committee, that would fall back on this committee to be the investment committee also, because that's where it lies right now. Does anyone have any insight into how we could move forward with that?
Well, I think, if I recall, we had a pretty substantive conversation about this. And I think you were looking to see if we had any previous charters or anything on file. I was under the impression at one point we did have one. It just
sure it
never really
wasn't
got off.
David, because I don't recall being
That-
tagged. I wouldn't know where to even start.
That's kind of what I'm trying to.
Oh,
close
okay,
the
my
loop.
bad.
Trying to close the loop to see, David said at one time he thought we had an investment committee, and I had asked for the charter. But nothing appeared, so, and I guess I'm, to move forward on something like that, and I agree with Madam Chairman. I think that this committee probably can serve as the investment committee. But I just think we need the structure behind it, the charter, the responsibilities, the things that we need to be doing, frequency of meetings, those things. And I think that involves Cindy, in the committee itself, since she handles most of the funds for the county. But I'm with you. I'm in favor of trying to pull that together.
If I can ask you, in your prior experience, did y'all have a formal investment committee?
No, because I think most of the time when I was here, interest rates were so negligible, it didn't really.
Well, they're headed that way now, so.
Yeah. Well, we just had that brief
Since
run where it
Powell's
was.
gone, they'll be heading
In my
that way.
early days, we did, but it was, financial management was a committee, purchasing
Yeah.
was a committee, investment was a committee.
Yes.
They had 3 separate agendas, but they met, bam, bam, bam.
When I was
Yes,
chair.
I would like that.
When I was chair, so this will be 2014-15, when I was chair of financial management, we had those titles just like that, but we had consolidated the agenda into one.
Yeah, prior to that. it
Yeah,
was-
that's what I'm saying, so, so that's prior to 2014.
Yeah,
And part of that was the purchasing committee, right? Is that what you're saying?
yes, we had, it was 3 separate committees, but they were all the same people. And 3 agendas that they just
Yeah, I
met
think
back
there's
to
some
back.
value in the purchasing committee too, so. We deal with a lot of purchasing things that, to me, could be in a lane of a purchasing committee, and allows you a little bit more, granular in terms of purchasing policies and those things, so I think there's some value to think about that.
And I'd like to speak specifically to the purchasing. This committee, we only hear exceptions when something's gone wrong. Whereas when I review what other counties are doing, their purchasing committees are actually doing spot checks on big purchase orders and stuff as they go through, and keeping oversight and providing more transparency also. I would say, go ahead. Mr.
Honestly, with the amount of problems that we've had with purchasing, I feel that should possibly be broken out. I mean, we've always just kind of, don't do that again.
Mhm.
And that's the way it's
been a-
always been. And we need, I agree with you, it needs to have some spot checking done, because that's the only way in which we're going to either stop or alleviate these problems.
Well, the purchasing committee to me would be to look at the foundation of our policies that's maybe a little bit more granular than this committee would typically get into. I mean, to me, there's a lot of back office policy things that we need to look at and sync up with a purchasing policy or a purchasing committee to do that. But the goal is for us not to be dealing with exceptions, is to to deal with them upfront, have the
Yeah.
controls upfront.
And
So your
separate.
point is
Yeah.
exactly where we need to be,
Yeah.
is to have
So
the oversight and controls upfront.
if I could, I'd like to make a motion. There are two pathways here. The first item is, I feel like we need, because we've had so many problems with the purchasing, definitely a more focus on purchasing, especially as we're growing. So I think we need a purchasing committee, and I think we need an investment committee. Now, the question is it this committee? I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be back to back, because I'll just be honest, we get tired of hearing it over and over, and we get kind of numb to it. I think that some different perspectives might be good. I would propose that I would make a motion that we ask Committee on Committees to form a purchasing committee and an investment committee for us. We could serve on it, and I definitely believe that we should put 2 of our members on each of these committees. So what I'm proposing, my motion would be for 2 of us, 2 of our memberships, to serve on each of these committees. How many of us are there? 7? Anybody want to raise their hands and volunteer for another committee? Miss,
What do you mean?
So-
You mean one of those 2 committees, right?
so we'll have 2, my motion would be to create a purchasing committee
And an
and an investment committee. I think the makeup of them should include 2 members of this committee on each of those when we go to do it. And that way we'll know what's going on.
Would that be a recommendation to committee on committees, or would that be for legislative, or would that be, or would it just be something where you created an ad hoc?
No ad hoc.
You want a permanent?
We're growing,
Yeah.
and these problems are not going away.
I guess I was just thinking, like, is that something that legislative, if that's the law director, would that be legislative committee on committees?
If we're basically creating a standing committee, so it would
It'll
have to go through
our
legislative to
request
commission.
To legislative,
Mhm.
and then committee, and then commission.
Commission,
And then committee on committees can fill it.
correct. Based on the parameters that commission outline in the resolution.
So I think that's where you would say, like, our recommendation would be 2
All right,
members. for-
exactly. So that's where I'm at right now, is with recommendations of what I would like to see us asking them.
Yeah.
Do y'all have some input with this? Are you ready to move forward with this?
Can I-
Yes, sir.
Do you want me to research what we've done in the past and report back to you, or do you
No.
want to just run with it?
No, I've spent years on this commission waiting for, like, what do we do in the past and what should we do in the future?
That's
I
fine,
think we
I
should
just
do
want to make
some.
sure.
So that would be the things that I would want to see on this committee, is at least 2 of us on each of those. It'd be different ones of us. But what other recommendations would we like to ask for legislative to put on there?
How many?
How many? How many do you think it should be? Purchasing.
Odd number, probably 5.
Want 5, everybody? Do we want, it all commissioners? Because I would like to maybe see on the purchasing, I mean, I guess the committee itself, we would have the purchasing person from finance show up, but they wouldn't have a vote, but that's fine. So 3 commissioners? I hear from the commissioners, they don't want more committees. But we,
This is an area where we can get hung out to dry very quickly.
as far as we need more oversight in this area, I hope you're
Yes.
meaning. So committees of 5, and we would want 2 members of the financial management committee on. And we send it to legislative and let them work something up, and then it goes to commission, and then we see if committee on committees can fill it. And hopefully by January, committee on committees will fill us out of 2 new standing committees. So all of that would be my motion. Sorry, Ms.
I'll
Notaker.
second
Any input?
So, just so I'm clear, 2 separate committees, at least 2 members from this committee on each of those separate committees. And the recommended size of the committee is 5 for each of the purchasing and investment.
We'll also need a scope for the committees. We can pull the scope from the prior ones. and send it to legislative. I can take care of doing that if you'll give me the, I'll amend it to ask you to give me the authority to come up for a scope of these committees. If you can trust me to do that.
I'll go along with
Can I have a second on my amendment?
that. Already seconded.
Okay.
Is there, I guess my question is, are there limits on the number of standing committees in your rules?
You've given me a research project, so I'm not sure. So we're gonna run with what you're trying to do now, and
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Because if it can't
I'm
be
just trying to think what the
done,
obstacles would be.
if it can't be done, I'll just have to shut it down. But for the sake of the motion right now, we're talking about, the motion is to send to legislative to create the investment committee and a purchasing committee, each with 5 members and each with 2 members from the financial management committee. Okay.
Certified standing.
Well,
Yeah, I think you'll have to change your standing rules because I think it's specific on the number of standing committees.
Because
Well,
that affects
It has a
legislation.
name.
But I mean, it's amendable.
I mean, I'll take a look at all that, yeah.
Right, and it goes back to the basis of this question, do you think it still needs to sit with this committee? I don't think it's been productive. I appreciate your tenure on the commission, Mr. Langford, but I don't think it's been productive merging them together. We just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to pick it up.
I mean, I think my only question would be is with the new finance director coming in, is that something we could talk about? I mean, I know like where we get errors on the school side is usually when we get new bookkeepers, new personnel, and they just don't know. So some of it's, once we train people, it's usually not that we don't have repeated errors, but usually it's not the same.
Which we've talked about that, creating more comprehensive training programs, especially with the librarians.
And that's underway now.
So that will be underway.
So when I look at other counties, I've watched their meetings specifically, and they sit down and they review, like, what is the ongoing to provide more transparency.
Yeah.
I think, I'll just be honest, I haven't dug through, and I think Cindy Williams is probably doing a great job, but I've not done an investment committee review of what she's doing and sit down with her. And I'd like some people to focus on that and also focus on what we're doing in purchasing. And we may come back and find that they're meeting for 10 minutes every 3 months, and that'd be great.
Well, that would tell me we're probably not doing a good diligence. It's only 10 minutes, 10-minute meeting. So while you set up the committee, you're gonna get a 10-minute meeting.
We'll see how it comes out.
So my expectation would be a little bit more detailed than that. So,
I mean, Eric is gonna research it. What would be wrong with him while he's doing this? Looking at what has been done in the past, just to see, it may be something that'd be a good idea, but I agree with your points, but, I mean, it's something that, give him time to look at it, and maybe when our next meeting, I mean, is that enough time to kind of research what's been done in the past?
Yeah, and even if we can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't speak to it, I did, I've been to the clerk's office, and I've read back through the 1980 files when we actually first were creating different things and read forward, due to a lot of conflicts that's come up on commission. And we have had them, and it has been this membership. But I just don't see us moving forward on it.
Yeah.
I'd also add to that, I'd love to see what these other counties are doing. If we can bring examples of what other counties
Yeah.
are doing.
It's,
So bring all of that as a comprehensive package for something else to review and look over.
earlier you were speaking of Mr. Carr. He runs the purchasing down there in his, and I watched one of his meetings. Well, you know how he is. It's always interesting to watch him in action.
He is very,
So,
that's a good word for him.
yeah. Interesting.
We have a
If y'all
motion
haven't
on the
had that
floor.
opportunity, I would encourage you to watch
Joe's a good
Mr.
guy.
Carr.
We have a motion on the floor, so,
I made the motion.
and it was seconded, I believe.
All in favor? Aye.
Well, so you do want to go ahead and create them, you want to send us to legislative? Okay.
based on your research, of course.
That it's possible. You can throw it out at legislative if something pops out.
Whether that stop shell's about a 50-50 shot.
Well, I mean, we look at this committee right here. This committee is on the agenda of the commission. This is supposed to be a standing committee also. However, we're not represented on legislative. That's one of the big problems we have with how this is all organized. And so that's a bastardization of the process right there.
When you say organized, Bob, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about, it's on the agenda as a standing committee. However, there is no representation of this committee at legislative, which there should be. The chairman should be on legislative. It's not. Never has been.
Are they part of the charter? Is it in the charter that way?
It's in the standing rules.
Should be.
If there's a conflict. and
Yeah, there's a conflict
There's
in
a,
there.
and then the commissioners are in flux. So, I don't have any questions about the trustees' report. Does anyone else? We can move forward. Report of the finance director.
I was asked to bring a transition plan update. I just took what David had in last month's agenda. The items highlighted in green have been completed. Items in yellow should be completed in the next 90 days.
Excellent. Do y'all need some additional resources, or how are you working out with resources?
I'll say right now. Our difficult season, really, we ramped up January, February. But if this finance director search goes through the way it sounds like it may, then that may be taken care of.
So are there any key items pending, like revenue recognition? Anything that is on the burner that David was working on, that now you're working on, that you feel that
Yeah, I'll tell you.
that's where you're spending most of your time? Where is that right now? Where are you spending most of your day? Is that just administrative stuff, or are you actually inside these models looking at revenue?
I have not had a chance to look at revenues at this point.
Okay.
It was his recommendation that I do that monthly right now. And we're a week and a half in.
Okay.
So,
But, I mean, back to her point, and I know David created a big hole in terms of just expertise and knowledge. And maybe this candidate works out, maybe he doesn't. And we have to assume at this point he's not. Just in terms of planning, we got to understand what you need today to look 30 days out, 60 days out, get close to budget. Any pressure points that you feel like you need for us to address?
not today.
Not today, okay. Good deal.
Chronos update is next on the agenda, and I would like, if we can suspend the rules and let Annette speak to that, since she's our Chronos.
I'll
guru.
motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Talk to us.
So I don't know exactly what you want updated on, if it was in regards to the consultants.
Can I ask you specifically?
Absolutely.
So with Chronos, we always seem to have a stopping point. Somebody along the way is like, where are we at? Who's holding the ball right now?
As for, which ball?
Yeah, how many balls?
Yeah.
If we could make one ball move and move forward, who would be holding that ball?
Well-
I didn't really say which ball, but who would you like to work with?
So the consultants have not been able to do anything yet because there was an authentication update that was not able to be done. And it took Chronos months to figure out why our system was failing. I did it in train with no problems. They had problems in production. And I couldn't refresh my train version for my consultants until that was taken care of. So they finally figured out that it was something to do with our telestaff was not updated. We do not have anybody who focuses on telestaff. EMS, it was just kind of thrown at them. I don't have any experience with telestaff, just the little things I've tried to figure out for them. But my understanding, that was before my time, so my understanding was that was supposed to be all under EMS. They finally figured out what that problem was, and telestaff was in the process of being moved up to the cloud. So I had to wait for that, which wasn't until the end of September. So once that happened, I was cleared to go ahead and try to do my authentication upgrade, and it failed again. So I created tickets, we reached out to as high up in management as I could get, and it took them forever to figure out, I don't even know they didn't tell me what the problem was, but they finally figured it out. And I was able to do that update, and that was a few weeks ago. I should put the date down. So at that point, I was able to try and refresh my train version for the consultants. There was an error. Nobody could explain that to me. They finally did. I finally got it done today. And I gave the consultants their login information for the UAT version. During all of that, the sheriff's office had a policy update for 3 different departments for their schedules and whatever. So I worked on that myself in an environment that wasn't really stable to work in. So I have built it in live. It's now been transferred to refresh or to UAT, and I'm trying to test it because it needs to go live on Monday. I feel like I'm there, but
It's gonna be a special Monday.
so
On your initial problem, you said you reached to management. Which management?
In UKG.
IT, what?
at
Consultants.
Kronos. No, the Kronos,
Kronos.
UKG, the company that runs.
Now, the telestat, that's what I was talking about.
Telestaff is part of is under the umbrella of
Kronos.
UKG. It's changed names so many times. It's Dimensions, Workforce, whatever. There's a lot of different
Okay.
terms.
So you, as far as the software developer, you reached into their
Yes.
Okay, that's,
Yes.
I just wanted
And I reached our salespeople, anybody I could find, I was sending emails to. Our consultants do have a behind-the-scenes track, and they were reaching out to people, and it's a matter of, they're just a giant corporation, and I was just trying to bing anybody I could. And it finally got figured out, but it was run up all the way up to their engineer. Like, they didn't know what the problem was, so it was up to their engineer.
And they've got ability to look into our system remotely from their location, correct? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, our system, it's in the cloud.
Okay.
We don't house it here.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, my question may be for Beth, but how much do we have invested in this product? Because it's been issues from the beginning.
Can I address that, or it's in our private act that we will use Kronos?
Specifically Kronos?
Yeah,
If we're going to get to 2012, we've got to be there.
it's
That's why
in,
we
it's in
said
all the private acts,
1981.
all of them.
Well, it's a computer system, but it's not specifically Kronos, is it? Because I'm all for automating.
They put Kronos in.
I'll go back and look at that, okay. But still, how much do we have invested in Kronos? Do you know?
No, off the
Okay.
top of my
I didn't
head,
know
I
if you
know.
would or not. But it just seems like we've been having this same
We don't.
conversation.
We have 12 years
We don't have
invested in it.
issues
Yeah,
with
right.
Kronos. This is
At
the
least.
only issue that I've had with Kronos since I took over
12 I can verify.
5 years ago, 4 or 5 years
So
ago.
the issue's only been going on for 5 years?
No,
No.
this issue has only been going on since July, where I haven't been able to refresh. Other issues that I've heard about is just either we don't have the time, the resources.
The developers tell
For
me.
13
It
years?
hasn't
No, our-
been
No,
the
this is
software
our-
itself.
Implementing it.
Yeah, and if I can speak to this, because Mr. Long and I have discussed this for hours and hours and hours. We have, first I'd like to say, we have some great success. If the trustee was here, and they're at training this week, she would tell you she loves it. All of her employees are on it, and it's running like a top, and they love it. So when it's all set up correctly, it's beautiful. We've had trouble with staff wanting to implement it. The telestaffing specifically has to do with our scheduling at EMS, and the sheriff can chime in if he
Just
wants. They're not
EMS.
there. When they schedule their employees, and then how they pay, they would like to schedule their employees, and then, operator one comes in and I'm on the schedule. And so when I say I did my schedule, it rolls into I work my hours and I get paid. But that module is telestaffing. And that's where we're at. We're working on focusing on EMS. And it's the scheduling module with the Chronos, if I'm understanding
feeds
correctly,
into the-
that it is the issue there.
Which-
And that's the one that we've stalled on because we've
Wow.
focused on EMS to try and get them over the hump. Like I said, we have some that are successful.
EMS functions fine. He still has to use a spreadsheet for his payroll because EMS doesn't pay under FLSA. They pay in addition to FLSA, same with sheriff office. So their system, their setup was done before they had these new changes, where if somebody has taken vacation, they still get overtime. Well, that's not within the FLSA umbrella. So that's why he still has to use a spreadsheet. And that, well, let me
So
talk about all of
as you
this stuff.
see, there's
but
all these different rules, and EMS is a special because they're in and out and they have overtime.
Yes, but the
That's-
consultants were actually gonna start with sheriff office because they had I was trying to help them clean things up to maybe have it be more useful for them. They were gonna start with them. Because EMS, it functions fine. It's just he still has to use the spreadsheet because of the overtime setup. And so they were gonna meet after the sheriff was complete for the consultants.
So, I would say if the law director, if you could send us an email to verify that we have to stay with Chronos to answer, the mayor's concerns,
Okay.
that would be great, if you could research that. But I do believe that we would have a lot of departments that are happy that, and then we would be starting all over with where we would need to go. And I can't imagine wanting to even begin to think about that.
A lot of what has taken so long is we're doing it all in-house. And we've had a lot of turnover since 2015. So that we keep restarting.
When you say doing, you mean the implementation of Chronos
Yes.
in-house? Okay.
Yes, we've done it all.
Beth is being very nice. We've had employees that touch the parameters and mark them wrong. I've audited the Chronos reports. I don't know if you've ever seen them or if anybody's ever seen them. There's a lot of little ons and off switches, and we've had employees that are no longer with us that touch the switches and touch them the wrong way. And that caused a lot of our grief.
Do we have that documented?
They're no longer here. I don't know. You know how these walls talk. I don't know. This is what I was told. And so right now, we
First
have
I've heard that.
invested our faith and given all the toggles to the consultants and to Annette so that nobody touches them the wrong way.
So it's locked down in terms of who can input, who can change.
Yeah,
At an administrative,
there's like 3 or 4 of us.
Kind of a
that-
master level.
You're the only one that's administrator, right?
Yes.
Okay, that should stop it.
And that's not my only, we don't have a dedicated Chronos person. It's under me, but I am the payroll benefits. I do the administration for the Munis system for that. So when there's changes, like this whole big beautiful bill, is causing us some angst. But I'm the one that has to reconfigure all of that. I'm the one that figured so we just don't have one dedicated person. And so that's why we got these consultants on board, to help focus on just Chronos.
Can I ask a question? I mean, I know we're in the search of a director of finance here. Do you have your thoughts articulated, memorialized. When the new finance director starts, and I hope the committee agrees, that first 90 days should be to figure out where we're going on Kronos, because we've got to move forward and get this done. But you're saying this doesn't work, that doesn't work. Do we have a consolidated list of what needs to be addressed, and if that person picks that up, they can run with it, say, in the first 90 days?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, I know we used to get a department list of those areas that have implemented Kronos.
Yes.
We used to get that, and I would recommend we continue to get that. Just gives us a good visual. But inside of that, there are unique problems for each department that need to be memorialized so the finance director can work with you and others to put the right priority on those unique problems for each department. I mean, and I know you live it every day, but if you walk out the door tomorrow, we may not know that, exactly what is left to be done with Kronos. So that's just a request, and do it at your leisure. Be thinking about some kind of document that helps the finance director get off and running on Kronos.
Annette has handled this project for the past 4 or 5 years, basically on her own.
Yeah.
David didn't have a lot of input.
Well, maybe that's not, maybe we need to change that. Maybe the finance director needs to have more input
I would
into what
love
you
for
do.
that.
And,
Yes.
and so
I
that's,
would
And
love
this
for that.
committee is gonna probably need to step up, because we have 2 departments that have said that they will not implement Kronos. So,
Which departments are those?
Circuit court and deeds.
I haven't
Circuit
heard
court, deeds.
otherwise from them. I don't know if they've changed their mind. I don't know.
When you say circuit court, which judge?
Most Catholic.
Circuit court clerk.
Catherine,
Oh, Catherine.
Yeah.
yeah.
She's got her
So
own-
at this
got her
point,
own
we are
plan.
just not implementing for them. We've got enough other work on the table. But at some point, if we're going to ever get this done, this committee is going to have to address it.
well,
We
this
have-
committee's not walking the carpet every day, the county building. Most of us, you are, but you're not a voting member of the committee. So, I mean, what we could work through are visuals and what you need in terms of resources and some type of schedule of what needs to get done when. And my guess is that the new finance person, when they're selected and hired, will work with those 2 departments, maybe in a little different way than David did. And we'll see how that comes,
Yeah,
how
we'll
that
take
works
that
out.
later.
Absolutely.
So I'm not sold that we'll have 2 that won't implement it at the end of the day.
I think we'll move forward.
Yeah, I do too.
Does anyone else have Kronos questions?
But I appreciate all your hard work. You do a tremendous job, and thank you. Yeah, thank you.
While we've still suspended the rules, do you have any Kronos input?
No, Annette's been working.
I'm trying.
Yeah, she's got our policy up. I think she's
We'll
done
see.
Very good. Excellent. And then the purchasing.
Just one final question, real simple one. Your role as senior manager,
Mhm.
payroll? Okay.
Well, it's called
On
senior
your
manager.
chart, you're
Yes,
you're
I'm called
considered the
senior
senior manager
She's
payroll?
our 3rd in line. If you look at- It was David and then myself and then Annette.
Then her, okay.
Yes.
Excellent, thank you.
So for the purchasing policy, the reason I asked for this to be on here is there are a couple of changes that have been made. There was a resolution for the bid limit, and then this committee passed the change to blanket purchase orders. That, along with the exhibits at the back of the current purchasing policy, which are severely out of date, I would like to incorporate the changes that have been made and update those exhibits. I know there may be some other things that need to be updated. I know one thing we may want to look at is in here in a few places, it requires an authorized signature on certain like requisitions, that sort of thing. We'd like to look at maybe changing that to department head or their designee instead of just authorized signature. And The new finance director may have more changes they'd like to make. These are just some things that I would like to see done myself. And I have had Mindy Curry, who's our accounts payable coordinator, working on updating those exhibits. So it's just that y'all can let me know how you would like to proceed, and we can bring back an updated copy if you like.
So I make a motion, we have had redline copies, redlining of this purchasing policy before, of things that we have voted to update. If you could, at a future meeting, whether if you have time, next time or the time after, I'm not setting a deadline for you. If you could, I would like to make a motion that you bring us back what you're proposing. I know you said that you have a couple of items and some that we have voted on that have not been implemented. And just let us see a red line of what we're talking about. And then we all have time to look it over. And also, if you could send out to department heads such as the sheriff's office, the mayor's office, the department heads, and ask them if there's anything that they would like us to address at this time, such as their purchasing levels and that sort of thing.
I know David was looking at P-card limits and updating P-card limits at one point. I don't know that we got to an answer, but he was recommending some adjustments to P-card limits.
I think you just made those adjustments.
We went through and cleaned those up,
You did,
some and
okay.
lowered them where we felt it was necessary.
Where you lowered or changed, did we communicate with the P-card holder that that's been changed?
And if I can interrupt for just one moment, I've made a motion. Can I get a second on the asking finance to come back with a red line before we go into the P card?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I'm sorry. I just wanted to clear that up.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes, our accounts payable clerk that handles all the P cards, she communicated that with the clerk holders or the department.
Now, while we got you, and I know we talked about the training of the library director, can you give us a quick update where that's at? And I've seen some email traffic. Looks like it's underway, or at least it's been scheduled.
We are meeting with them Tuesday, I believe at 2 o'clock in our office, with everyone except for Millersville, and she had a scheduling conflict, and we're meeting with her on Thursday.
I'll read it. And the handicap. I've got it.
Great, thank you. I appreciate you guys doing that.
Too cheap to keep them.
One other item that wasn't on the list, but I would like to just mention briefly. So there was a bid that was done, I believe back in October, for a lift at EMS. The bid was awarded, but it was not to the lowest bidder. The lowest bidder is wanting to protest, and he sent an email today to all.
And can I stop you there? I think that this is a legal issue, maybe if he's protesting, and I think it's something you might need to.
Legal's already dealt with it, and we've said there's no merit to what he's
Okay. Just
appealed.
wanted
I just wanted to make you aware, and he did email the commissioners, I believe. David had responded to him before he left and indicated that because he had a model number listed in the bid that was valid, that any change he wanted to make would be a change. It wasn't just a minor informality. The vendor's claiming it was a typo and that he considers it minor. David did not consider it minor. This gentleman said that if he doesn't get a response, then he will elevate it to the county commission or purchasing committee for administrative review, and if needed, to the state level oversight and audit functions that evaluate whether counties are actually following TCA and their policies. So I just wanted to make you aware that
So he's planning on footing a big legal bill. Is that what he's?
I haven't communicated.
That's his
with
only
the gentleman.
recourse
Yeah,
as
I
far
know.
as
For him.
my feedback is, yeah, that's exactly where we're at. But to Beth's credit, we wanted to bring it to you all so that somebody was addressing it. If you wanted to direct it to go somewhere else, we'll do whatever the committee's will is. But I've reviewed this, David and I had discussed it at length before he left. Basically, if we accommodate this guy, there's never gonna be a completed bid when the process is over. Everybody will be coming in, oh, well, I meant.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
this guy was the lowest bid though, right?
no.
Yes.
He was
the
lowest
one.
bid.
Oh, it was the wrong part number. That's what it
Correct.
was, yes.
So I mean, to me, and this is just me kind of looking outside in.
And I would caution you, if this person is threatening to take legal
Let
action.
me finish here, hang on. So if the person is doing a lower bid, I mean, I think you said it's $1,000 difference, right?
I believe so, yes.
Is it, I mean, and would the product be as the same quality as the other vendor?
They're the same product.
Same product, okay. So we are talking about a part number or a model number difference.
If, I wasn't gonna get into the weeds on it, but I will now. It's not only did he put the wrong part number, but the wrong part number he put on there was a valid part number. So when we got the bid, we really don't know which number that amount's going to, the correct, once he brought it up, is that the correct one or the incorrect one? So basically what's happened is he improperly did his bid, he made some mistakes, but that's not the county's problem to bear, is my legal interpretation of this. And if he wants to saddle up and make it litigation, that's the only recourse I see for him, because I couldn't find anything statutorily that requires us to address his grievance.
Yes, and I'd agree and ask to move forward, but move on with our agenda, because if they would like to come and address this committee, they're welcome to. They can come and address the commission or anything else, and until then, let's move forward.
Fair point. On the other vendor, were there any administrative errors on their bid?
From what this gentleman stated in his email, there was a spelling error on the winning bidder's name at some point. I have not
Okay.
reviewed that.
Yeah, so let's move forward. If they do present themselves, we can
I mean,
set the end of your.
if that part was a valid part, then he could be misrepresenting something, and I don't
So until
see
it comes
the
before
merit
us,
to that.
I appreciate your update, but I'm good to move forward. Do you have any other items for us? Thank you. We have no old business. Under new business, we have moved off the Hendersonville to our next meeting. We have the emergency purchase orders. Ms. Browning, could you walk us through the mayor's, well, the mayor's here. Mayor, could you just tell us about your,
It's
Your,
my understanding, this is
fix.
informational only. We
I believe
submitted an
so.
emergency purchase order and got the problem fixed. That's all I got.
excellent, at $12,000, I'm not all that concerned. Can you tell me what the problem was, just
It was
briefly?
a flood.
It was a flood at
Burst
a,
pipe at the old General Sessions Court. Sheriff called, we got Servpro out there, get it cleaned up, good to go.
thank you. EMS had problem with their HVAC.
Yes, in their medical supply storage room,
That was an emergency because,
to prevent the loss of medical supplies.
very good, did you get it fixed for them in time? Did they get it all taken care
As
of?
far as I know, yes.
Excellent, good to know. Motion to adjourn?
So,
Second.
Did we vote on that?
No.